at Zwelly's Kitchen here in Durham. It's the countdown to kickoff. We got a bunch of coaches in the building. Super excited. Of course, in the last segment, you heard from Adrian Jones, the head football coach at Shaw, here on the countdown to kickoff. My next guest, matter of fact, he and I go back, a long time. When he was coaching at A&T, I was SID at A&T back in the day. I'm not going to say how long ago.
20 years ago.
It was. Richard Hayes is the head football coach at Fayetteville State in his fourth season, joins us here on the countdown to kickoff. What's going on, Coach Hayes?
I'm good. I appreciate you for inviting me here, man.
Absolutely. I'm glad you could come down. You got the anniversary coming up, so you were able to get here this time around, man. So
right, 19 years on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you remember most, man? You starting off as a younger coach during your days at A&T.
Just remembering the grind that it took to be a college football coach. I moved up from high school to the college ranks during that time, and just remembering how much of the workload that was put on the young coaches. And, the old coaches sit back and tell you, do this, and you got to do it. You can't. But it really taught me, and it helped me throughout my career. Yeah,
we know who put it on you, Coach Hayes, right?
Definitely.
Talk about, because he just got inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame, and the Black College Football Hall of Fame more recently in the last couple of years. So, talk about that and what you learned from him.
Man, honestly, I think most of us in this room, I'm going to tell a joke real quick that, he rides around in his car. He has a Winston-Salem State hat, an A&T hat, a Central hat, a Fayetteville State hat, and probably a few other schools and a couple other high schools. And he just rides around, and he comes to practice. He put this hat on. When he go to Macedon, he put his Winston-Salem State hat on. He helps us all out. It ain't just me. It's everybody. But, he's a tremendous asset to us. I think every one of us learned something from him and other coaches like him from back in the day. I've been watching him since I was 6 years old. I said this the other day. I watched him at 6 through the 70s and 80s, played for him in the 90s, worked for him in the late 90s and 2000s, and then he became the AD at Winston-Salem State, and I was working under Coach Maynard and Coach Ware. So it's been a lifelong lesson for me.
Yeah, no question about it. So the first black assistant coach in the ACs. I mean, there's a lot of things that he's done. So your football team, and I want to ask you this. I know you're 4 years in, and you finally got your opportunity at Fayetteville State. It took some time. Can you talk about sort of the grind and just being at different schools and so forth? And sometimes you got to have patience, and it'll come when it's that time.
Well, when I was younger, I always believed that, you get into college, you coach at a college, and then boom, it's going to happen for you. You're gonna turn into a head football coach. And for me, it was a long road. Unfortunately, we got let go at A&T in 2002. And then I went back to Dudley High School in 2004. 2009, I was in South Carolina at W.J. Keenan in Columbia. Then I coached Pop Warner for a little while. So I went all the way down before Coach Maynard got the job at Winston-Salem State in 2010.
Wow.
Brought me back. Of course, we were college teammates. Brought me on the staff, and here I am today.
Wow, man, that definitely is a beautiful thing. And running a good program, two-time defending Southern Division champion, as a matter of fact. 6-3, 5-1 last year. Took another step forward. You've been taking steps forward. So your thoughts on 2018?
2018, we knew we had a good nucleus of players returning. They were still young, in my opinion, sophomores mostly. But we started the season off with a tough game, and we lost to Wingate, I believe 27-13, and then we got affected by the hurricane. We sat out for 2.5 weeks, had to send the players home, couldn't practice or anything, and then we had to get ready for Coach Place and Bryce Witt and those guys down at Chawan, and we went down there. On the way there, our bus broke down. And, we had to load everybody. I said, if you're a football player and you're playing in this game, get on this bus. Everybody else will call you. But we had to get the team there, and it was a bunch of adversity. Coach Place jumped on us real good, real early. And then some kind of way during that game in the second quarter, a light came on for our guys. And it clicked, and everything and before you know it, we were up 24-14, and it was a seesaw battle back and forth. He has a great football team, and we came out on top that day, 40-38. So that started a 6-game win streak for us, and it didn't end right the way we wanted to. Coach Macedon ambushed me, but it's like I say, it's a stepping stone for us, and Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah. Well, no, you're definitely building that program. So I think one of the more, well, I don't know if you can really call him underrated at this point, but Stevie Green, like he comes back for you. It's been really, really good. He's got like 3,400 yards rushing in his career, 3,600 multi-purpose yards, that type of thing. Talk about him, the expectations for him in 2019, and how really good a back he is.
Well, I think you're right. He's underrated, very underrated. He's never made first-team All-Conference.
Yeah.
He made Rookie of the Year his freshman year, but outside of that, he's been kind of overshadowed by Trenton Cannon and last year the young man, Mr. Taylor from Virginia Union.
Yep.
But Stevie's, I wouldn't trade him for any other back in this conference. He's definitely my type of back. He's been with me from day one. When I first got there, we didn't have a lot of talent, and we didn't know who he was. He walked on, and we gave him an opportunity, and even until the beginning of the season against Coach Place and them, he wasn't our starting running back. Another young man started. He let the ball go a couple times. We put Stevie in. His first carry, he went like 46 yards. The rest is history.
Right.
And now he's 300 and some odd yards away from being the school's all-time leading rusher. So
wow.
I'm expecting great things from him, and there's nothing more we want for him than to end his career with us with the CIAA championship.
No question about it. And I think even the beauty of Stevie Green and how really, really good he is the fact that you have Donshell Jetton and Johnny Glaspie that can kind of come in and also tote the rock that are very good as well.
Right, and we have Darnell Walker as well, Elijah Henry. All those guys could start at most of our programs. We're 4 or 5 deep at running back, and it was done intentionally to try to take some of the pressure off of Stevie. Over the first couple of seasons, he had so much pressure on him, and everybody knew, the offense went through him, so we had to try to get him a little bit of help.
Colin Anderson threw for over 1,500 yards last year, had 10 touchdowns. Is he your guy for in 2019?
As we speak today, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have 4 other young men. Richard Latimer actually played in 2017, and we went to the CIAA championship. But Colin's a senior this year. We just have to get Colin to not put so much pressure on himself. He knows he's good, and he could be a tremendous asset to our football team. But I think sometimes he wants it so bad, he puts a lot of pressure on himself, and we just have to help him relieve that a little bit.
What is that offensive line looking like? Is it a veteran offensive line coming back?
Yeah. Yes.
I see you looking. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, they'll all be juniors this year.
Right.
Right tackle Jalen Galloway, right guard Greg Brooks was second team All CIAA. Our center's returning. Our left guard will be a transfer kid from North Carolina Central. And then our left tackle will be returning, who was out last year, Keon Smith. He started 16 and 17 for us. He had shoulder surgery last year, but he'll be back this year for his junior season.
So, a lot of times the special teams is underrated, not yours so much. You got Brandon Smith as a kick returner. Is it Tyus Sharp?
Yes.
As your punt return, both all CIAA first-team guys. So can you speak to that and how those guys can help flip the field and, sort of really help that offense?
Both dangerous weapons. We feel like if you punt us the ball, Tyus has the ability to take it to the house at any time. The same thing if you kick us the ball. You can sky kick it, and we'll take it at the 35, or you can kick it to Brandon, and we might get it at the 45. It really is a dangerous asset. It's a weapon for us, it kind of hinders other people, but I'm really pleased with those guys.
Of course, Richard Hayes is the head football coach at Fayetteville State, joins us here on the Countdown to Kickoff presented by Harlem Beer NC. We are live from Zwelly's Kitchen in Durham. If you're watching this on BigSportsNC.com, come on out and join us. So defense, I think during the course of the season, the last couple of years, we've sort of talked about the defense. Yeah, I see you. Look, so what's the expectation for this defense this year? Because I know your offense is putting up a lot of points, but I know you want to see that defense improve.
Well, our defense started off in 2017 as predominantly freshmen. We threw them out there. They took their lumps. 2018, they got better. Believe it or not, going into that Winston-Salem State game, we were one of the top 2 defenses in the conference. But then we went out and gave up 51 points. but that's just how it goes. But that's a lesson that they learned. And 2019, those guys are predominantly juniors. They'll have this year and another year to get better, and we'll see. We've gotten better progressively each year.
Elvin Delarosa,
Yes.
all-conference defensive back. Talk about the expectations maybe as one of the leaders of this defense.
He's definitely a leader, and we're trying to move him around a little bit. He's been playing predominantly corner for the past 2 years, but this year we're going to move him around and let him make some plays. I think he's a tremendous playmaker who needs to be. He loves to be around the football, so we're going to put him in that position this year.
How did you get the schedule you have? Everybody's got to be envying this schedule. Like, you not only did you get 6 home games, your first 3 are at home. Your first 5 of your first 6, I should say, are at home. First of all, how did you get that schedule? And can you talk about how important it is to get started off the first half of the season on the right foot?
Well, my athletic director and myself, we sat down and that's just how it worked out. Last year we had 4 home games, 2 of which we didn't even play.
That's right.
So it was a 4 and 6 like type of deal last year. 4 home games, 6 road games. This year it's 6 home games, 4 road games. So that's how it worked out, and I'm not going to complain about it at all. We got to go down there and see Coach Jones at the Down East in between those home games, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and then, Bennett, how excited are your guys for September 7th? I know we haven't even gotten into sort of the fall practice, but, maybe for you and the coaching staff to play against a really good Benedict team out of the SIAC. There's been that talk about which conference is better. The CIAA has come up. How excited are you and the guys to get that game going and to represent the CIAA?
Yeah, we're really excited because, like you say, it's an SIAC football team. We're going to start our first 2 games off against the SIAC and the SAC-8. It's going to be a measuring stick for where we are early in the season. And I think Benedict brings a tough, big, physical football team who's going to try to pound you. And we're going to have to be ready for that. They're a little bigger than we are, but, we're going to have to be in shape and ready. It's going to be a 7 o'clock p.m. game. Those guys are from Columbia and Georgia and South Carolina, and they're used to the heat.
Right.
So we're going to try to bring a little bit of it to them.
And then lastly for you, again, first head coaching job on this level. How much fun are you having with this? Again, you grinded it out. Now you're here. How much fun are you having with this?
I'm having a lot of fun, man. I'm getting a fellowship with a lot of great guys. I'm learning a lot from each and every one of them on a weekly basis as I prepare my team to face them. It has been a long road, but I wouldn't trade my path for anybody else's. I like where I am right now. I'm really grateful to Fayetteville State for giving me an opportunity, and we'll see what happens this year.
Give it up for Richard Hayes, the head football coach at Fayetteville State, joining us here on the countdown to kickoff. We're going to step aside, take a break, come back. Tim Chavis, the head football coach at St. Augustine, is going to join us here on the program. We're live from Zwedley's Kitchen in Durham, presented by Harlem Beer NC.